who is just on the stage. Her name is Kate Mangiamelli, and she's a member of the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. Stay with us. This is Met Opera Radio on Sirius XM. Soprano Kate Mangiamelli is a first-year full-time chorus member at the Met, and like many of the chorus members here, she comes from a solo background and has extensive training in the world of opera and classical music. She trained at the prestigious Steens Institute in Ravinia. She was a national semi-finalist in the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions in 2003. She sang in the Young Artists program at the Florida Grand Opera, Glimmerglass Opera, the Merilla Opera program, and the San Francisco Opera, and the Opera Theater of St. Louis, as well as many solo engagements. The chorus members here really do get to see it all, and it is certainly interesting to get their unique perspective on working at the Met, and I'm really pleased to meet Kate Mangiamelli. Hello, welcome.
Hi, I'm pleased to meet you.
Thanks for coming up. You were just on the stage finishing that final, we were talking about the waltz. Is that, I mean, it's so buoyant and enjoyable for the audience. How is it feeling for the chorus up there?
It's great. It's one of the liveliest scenes in the show, and certainly one of our most lively scenes, so it's fun to dance around and have that big group energy that's going on. And then you also have the intimate moments with Marguerite and Faust within the context of that big number, which is beautiful and special. It was great.
So tell us, I had all that information about your training and your approach to a solo career. Tell us what made you come to the Metropolitan Opera and look for a job in the chorus.
Well, I have several very dear friends that are in the chorus, and all of them have become members within the last 5 years. And I saw their quality of life improve, and I saw how much they enjoyed being able to sing every single day and get paid every single day for it, which is such a rarity when you're a freelance artist in any sort of art form. So I moved to New York about 3 years ago after having been a soloist for about a decade, and I was still singing solo gigs, but I really wanted to be living in New York. And in order to do that, I had to get a full-time job. And thankfully I had an employer that allowed me to continue singing, and I would leave for gigs, you know, for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. But at a certain point, that employer lost patience with that. And I started losing patience with the struggle that I was going through to maintain a career path. So that, coupled with my love for living in New York as the time went on, I thought, you know, I'm gonna audition for the Met Chorus and just see what happens.
And did you get in the first time around?
I did.
Because I was going to say, it's not like anyone can just show up and say, oh, heck, I'm going to give up all this other struggle and I'm just going to join the Met Chorus. No. It is a hard gig to get.
Absolutely, and I'm so thankful and thrilled that I was given the opportunity immediately. It's very lucky, and I realize that. But I also feel like the time was right. I just had this instinct going into the auditions, and I thought, this is going to happen. This is going to be the time. And then if it doesn't, I'm just going to keep auditioning until it does happen.
What do you think they were looking for?
Well, I think Maestro Palumbo has such a keen and brilliant ear, and I think he's listening for the best singers. I mean, I really think it's as simple as that. I don't necessarily know, I can't speak for him, but the people that he's hired in the past few years are almost all of them come from soloist backgrounds, and on their own they have such beautiful and interesting instruments and strong instruments, because we sing so much that you need to have a pretty resilient instrument. So I think he's probably listening for that, for range, for, you know, dynamic contrasts, for legato line.
And you do have to be able to make that matched sound of a chorus. So you can be soloists, but you have to blend with each other.
Yes, so I think, I mean, I'm sure that comes into play as well. But I just sang with my instrument when I went in, and with more confidence than I had at an audition when, say, I was going in to sing for a Mimi or something. I went into this audition and I thought, I'm going to get this job. And I didn't necessarily have that confidence when I was going into solo auditions all the time.
Every now and then you just know when the moment is right.
Yeah.
And you are the one who said it, sing every day. These are people who sing every day and quite a bit. Is that a struggle? Is that hard to keep up? Do you have to take better care of your voice as a chorus member?
I think that it's probably the same care as when you're a soloist, but your body is what gets more tired in this job than your voice. So, or for me, I mean, it's the standing and the long hours and 7 shows a week for, sometimes 3 consecutive weeks while you're rehearsing during the day. So I've had to adjust to make sure that I get a lot more rest than maybe I used to. And certainly I avoid, loud social situations and things like that when I know that I have a very long week ahead of myself. But I haven't found singing every day has been such a gift, because when you're a soloist, you might sing for 6 weeks straight, and then you might not have a gig for 6 weeks after that. So then the singing that you do is all based on your own, practice and what you motivate yourself to do, which I wasn't always so motivated between gigs, so I wouldn't necessarily sing daily. So that's one of the most exciting things about this job.
But was this job what you expected? I asked what they were looking for. What were you looking for? And did it fulfill what you were looking for? And maybe did it go beyond what you were looking for?
It's definitely fulfilled what I was looking for. I have had so many surreal moments on the stage this season.
Like what?
I was lying on the floor in the second act of Les Troyens, and the music was so unbelievable, and it was a matinee, and I was lying with a colleague who I'm very fond of, and we're just meant to lay there and listen to the music, and I was looking up at the chandeliers, and I thought, this is crazy, I work here every single day. And similar things happened during the Parsifal run, which has been the highlight of my season so far. It's unreal. And, to get to sleep in my own bed every night and wake up in my own bed every morning and not be in a hotel in a strange city and not know how to get around, that's just invaluable for me. It's wonderful.
Tell me about Parsifal. What you were one of the flower maidens.
Yes. Parsifal for me was a very emotional experience, because as a young singer, you don't really have very many opportunities to sing Wagner. Maybe I would work on arias with my teacher in my voice lesson, but if you're in your late 20s and you're a soprano, you're most likely not going to be getting to sing Wagner unless you have just so clearly a Wagnerian instrument. And so getting to learn that music, which I'm spellbound by, was amazing. And then working with Maestro Gatti, who I think is just a genius, and getting to hear that fabulous cast was something so special. And our director, Francois, he's the film director of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Red Violin, so it was really neat to get to work with him on this piece, which had a beautiful and interesting concept that I'm really pleased was well received by the audiences.
It was one of the high points of the season, and there you were up on stage and you got to be a part of it.
Yeah, wading in all that blood.
That was, singular, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How has your life changed since you started doing this job?
Well, that's a great question, and if you ask my best friend, she would say we've gotten like a lifestyle upgrade, because it's just, I'm so much more settled because I know that I'm taken care of financially. It's just something that you don't experience often as a freelancer. And even when you do, it's not necessarily guaranteed the next year. So the freedom that I feel like I have now from getting such a wonderful position at the Met is, it's made me a lot happier, to be honest.
There are people in the chorus who were soloists in seasons past who have joined the chorus for one reason or another, and it's just made their lives so much better, and they're doing what they wanted to do. What's the best part of being in the Met chorus, would you say?
The best part for me, and I just experienced it out on stage, is the interactions with my colleagues, especially the ones that I've known since, 2005 3 when I was at Glimmerglass Opera, because there are several of us in the chorus together. And I looked over tonight at one of my dear friends, and just having those moments with each other on stage every single day, you don't get that in normal life. You know, I didn't get that working at an office. It just, the interactions that we have are so spontaneous, and they give me so much energy when I'm up there. And it could be a fellow chorus member, or it could be Jonas Kaufmann walking by me as I'm pretending to seduce him. I mean, that's a pretty great job. Seduce Jonas.
They pay me for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to mention that Kate Mangiamelli, who is our guest during this first intermission of Faust, is in a like a 1910-ish sort of costume, because you just came off the scene of the town gathering where everyone was dancing together. So now you're going to run downstairs and change into another costume. Yes.
So I have to actually underdress under this costume, because we have a quick change in the third act. So we wear the costume I'm in now, which is like a blouse and a skirt. I have to put on a pencil skirt underneath this, and I put like a raincoat over all of it and a hat, and then I make a quick change backstage. We don't even have time to go back to the dressing room, where I remove the blouse and the skirt I'm wearing now and the coat to reveal like a tank top and this pencil skirt, and then we put lab coats over that. I take my hat off, and then we have to run around to the other side of the stage to grab a prop before.
So layers are the big secret.
Yes.
It seems to me that the hardest thing to do when you start working in the chorus is to learn all the music that's coming up for the season, because there are lots of people who are in the chorus now who have been doing it for years, and they may have to refresh their memories, but it's still there for them. What was it like for you?
That has been so interesting. So I'm in 19 productions this season, and I have sung in Carmen, for example, but I never sang in the chorus. But there were some scenes that I sang with the chorus, so I knew a little bit of that music. And I sang Turandot 10 years ago. And I've been in Dialogues of the Carmelites, so I know that. So there are a few that I knew. It's very challenging. When it's a new production, or it's something that's out of the ordinary, it's not a repertory production that the Met brings back very often, we get a lot of music rehearsal, and I have a pretty fast ear. So if we rehearse something 2 or 3 times and it's not, epically long, I don't have a problem memorizing it. But the hardest thing is exactly what you mentioned. When we're doing a show like Aida, for example, and the bulk of the chorus has done 1 million performances of it, the new choristers, don't get a lot of rehearsal time. And then you're put on stage for your staging rehearsals, because generally these repertory productions, you start rehearsal right on stage. There's nothing in a rehearsal room. So those rehearsals have sometimes been a little scary for me, because I don't necessarily remember every single word when I'm out there, for the first time.
And you're given the music like let's say at the beginning of this summer, you're going to be given them.
Well, we can get the music at the beginning of the summer, and we come back. The chorus comes back earlier than the rest of the company to start rehearsal. So we do touch on some of those things pre-season, we call it. But 19 operas, it's a lot.
That is a lot. You know what? We got the 8-minute stage call not long ago. I have to let you get back to the stage. Kate, this has been fun.
For me too.
I wish we had more time to talk, because I have a lot more questions. I was going to throw out a bunch of opera names to you and just get your quick responses, but we'll have to try to do it again.
Yes, I'd love to come back.
Kate Mangiamelli is a member of the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. This has been her first year. Congratulations on that first season.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. There's more of Faust coming up on Met Opera Radio, Sirius XM.